Welcome to our second video of Concepts of Programming. Today we're going to start our first project of Move the Cat. But before we start this, we're going to need to look at some of the blocks needed. As of last video, we talked about the start block, which is going to be round on top, meaning we can't place or snap any blocks on top of it, but only on the bottom. So with the when green flag clicked, when I click the green flag, it's going to execute the code in here. So it's going to execute the move 10 steps, and my cat is going to move 10 steps. Now the other thing we're going to need for this program is going to be when this sprite clicked. If I drag this over, it's going to do the exact same thing as when green flag clicked. So if I drag over a move 10 steps, what this means is that just like when I click the green flag, the cat is going to move 10 steps. When I use my mouse and I click anywhere on the cat sprite, it's also going to move 10 steps. So if I click, it's going to move 10 steps. I'm going to drag this code over here to delete it. Now the other thing we're going to look at is going to be the look section. With this cat, what we can do is we can make it say things. So I can make it say hello. And if I drag this over, it's actually going to say hello. And as you can see, the thing with this is that the cat isn't going to stop saying hello. So if I want the cat to say hello and then stop saying hello after a bit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the say hello for 2 seconds. And if I click the green flag, what it's going to do is it's going to say hello for 2 seconds and then end the program because there's no other code. So it's going to go click the green flag, 1, 2, and it's going to stop saying hello. We kind of covered this last time, but with this screen and our little playground, the cat moving back and forth is going to change the X and Y coordinates seen here. Scratch is really good about telling you exactly what X and Y are. And as shown here, X is going to be or represent the left and right of the cat. So if I were to move the cat further to the left, the X is going to get smaller and smaller. If I move it further to the right, it's going to get larger. With Y, the higher up I move my cat, the bigger it becomes. The lower I move it, the smaller Y is. And by pinpointing the position of my cat from left to right and up and down, I can find its exact location with just these two numbers. In Scratch and this playground specifically, 0, 0 is going to be the center point or the center of the screen. This is really useful because I can actually change the value of X and Y. Now with my move 10 steps blocks, this is going to depend on my direction. So if I set my direction from 90 to 0, as shown on the screen, by changing the arrow, it changes where the cat is facing. And by clicking the green flag, the cat is just going to move 10 steps in whatever direction it's facing. So I'm going to change it back to 90. But with the change X, no matter what direction the cat is facing, like if it's facing down, it's still going to make it move left and right. So if I drag over the change X by 10, it's going to move left and right, or in this case, right. In order to move left, we are going to go negative. So we're going to change X by negative 10. And as demonstrated, the cat is going to move left. With the Y coordinates, what it's going to do is it's going to move up and down. And just like with X, it's going to have directions. So if I change Y by 10 and I drag it over, I'm going to click the green flag, and it's going to change Y by 10 positively. By putting a negative sign, it's going to make the cat move down. So for the cat and the X and Y coordinates, right and up are going to be the positive numbers respectively. Left and down are going to be the negative numbers. So this project is called Move the Cat, and obviously we're going to need a little bit more movement. This block is going to show how to point towards the mouse pointer, and the mouse pointer is just this little cursor here. If I click the green flag, it's going to point here. But there's a small flaw with this, and this is because when I click the green flag, it's just going to point towards the mouse pointer once, and when I move my mouse around later, it's not going to follow. So since my mouse is obviously going to start here, it's just going to point there. Likewise, if I just click this block of code, it is going to point to my mouse, but then when I move my mouse later, it's not going to anymore. A loop is anything that allows the code inside to run multiple times. And if I drag this repeat loop over, unlike normal blocks, what it's going to do is it's going to kind of eat the blocks inside of it, and it's going to allow blocks to snap inside of it. If I kind of read the text on here, what it's going to say is repeat 10 times. Point towards mouse pointer. If I run the program by clicking the green flag, for 10 movements, or for 10 small seconds, it's going to follow my mouse around. What if I don't want it to just go 10 times? So I could have it go 100 times. And by clicking the green flag, wow, look, it's following me 100 times. In order to get it to constantly follow me, though, I'm going to use the forever loop. By clicking on the green flag, it's going to follow my mouse forever, or as long as the program runs. So what this does is this gets a good idea of how I can manipulate or create the cat's direction. But obviously, it hasn't started moving yet. What we're going to do is we're going to try and get it to move. And we're going to do this by dragging over the move 10 steps. Let's try this. This is great. As you can see, the cat is going to move 10 steps and point toward the mouse pointer indefinitely. So we have a cat chasing a computer mouse. But what if I want it to be a little bit slower? See, when it reaches my mouse, it's just going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try a different block, which is going to be the wait 1 second. If I drag this over here, what it's going to do is it's going to wait in between the moments where my mouse is pointing. So it's going to do that. It's going to wait 1 second, move 10 steps, and in between the 10 steps of movement, it's waiting 1 second. What this does is it creates the really slow movement of the cat going. Now, obviously, I don't want this program just to run forever. This is why I have the stop all block. Now, the stop all block, if you'll notice, is kind of different. With the forever loop versus the repeat loop, the repeat 10 loop has a bottom that allows me to put code and snap it underneath. So if I add this here, and then I take my wait 1 second, I can snap it underneath. But with the forever loop, I can't snap anything underneath. And that's because anything inside of here is going to run forever. So if I try and run any code outside of this, it's never going to run because the program is too busy running all of these pieces inside of the forever loop over and over and over again forever. Now with the stop all button, it's the same idea. When I drag this over, it's going to stop everything. And what that means is that the code or the program is just going to automatically end. Now if I were to use the repeat 10 loop instead, and then I go stop all, it's going to repeat 10 times, and then after 10 times, and after it's exited the repeat, it's going to directly stop everything. Now when I do this with the forever loop, Scratch is really good about letting us understand the code. So if I were just to kind of read through this, when the green flag is clicked, forever, it's going to point toward the mouse pointer, move 10 steps forward, wait 1 second, and then stop all. By adding a stop all directly into this forever loop, this actually isn't going to run forever, because the first time we run this, it's going to stop all, meaning this code is only going to run once, and we can see this demonstrated as soon as we click the green flag. See? The stop all occurs before we go into forever again, meaning that basically the stop all is going to stop everything so we never get a chance to go into the forever loops again. Last time we talked about costumes, and with this sprite we have 2 automatically generated costumes. In order to bring this into code, or make our cat look like it's not walking but gliding, make our cat look like it's not gliding around but walking, what we're going to do is we are going to need to change to the next costume. If I add this here before the wait 1 second, what it's going to do is it's going to have my cat point to the mouse pointer, move 10 steps, switch costumes, wait a second, and then do it again. And what this does is it makes my cat look like it's walking. By switching between costumes, it's mimicking walking. And obviously right now it's walking very slowly. So what we can do is we can make it wait 0.1 seconds. Now the cat looks more like it's walking faster or maybe even running. So now that we've gone over some really cool things, we're going to move on to the actual project of moving the cat. So the first thing we're going to do is, with all of these games, we are going to assume some player is going to click the green flag and start it. What we're going to do is we're going to first say hello for 2 seconds. After this, we are going to start having it moving. So what we're going to do first is have it point to the mouse pointer. And what we can do is, as demonstrated before, it's just going to point wherever my mouse is. We can make it follow our mouse by doing go to, click the arrow here, mouse pointer. So in doing this, it's actually just going to go and almost teleport exactly where my mouse is. And when it does that, it's really fast. So if I run this, it's just going to really quickly move here. But in order to see this movement, we're going to use the glide again. So I'm going to click on this dark area again, switch it to mouse pointer, so it's gliding for 1 second to mouse pointer. So it's going to say hello, and then it's just going to glide for 1 second to the mouse pointer. Now obviously I want it to move a lot. The entire program is based off of the idea of the cat moving, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it move forever, and it's going to do this forever. So it's going to say hello, and then it's going to continuously follow around my mouse pointer. And this is a really cool program. We could end it right here. But we're going to add a couple of other cool things in order to create even more movement. What we're going to do is we're going to go when space key pressed. We're going to drag this over. So just like when this sprite clicked, when space key pressed is pretty simple. Whenever I press the space key, it's going to execute this code. So if I add a move 10 steps, when I press the space key, it's just going to move 10 steps. But what we're going to do is, instead of moving 10 steps in our direction, we're already changing the direction of where we're pointing constantly. What we're going to do is we're just going to change our X and Y. So I can drag over my change X, and to get even more movement, we're going to change it to 40. We're also going to drag over our change Y, and to get a lot of movement, we're also going to change this to 40. And what we're going to do is, every time the space key is pressed, we are going to change our X 10 times, and then change our Y 10 times. Now let's see what this looks like. So we run this, it says hello, and it's going to start gliding to our mouse pointer. But then when I press the space key, wow, it's moving a lot right now. Okay, so now the other thing we are going to address is going to be the fact that it doesn't exactly look like it's running or walking. And what we're going to do is we are going to have it switch costumes. Here's the thing, we can have multiple things happen when the green flag is clicked. So I can also drag over another when green flag is clicked. And what this is going to do is basically have it switch between costume 1 and costume 2 to make our cat look like it's walking. So because it's just going to be continuously walking, we're going to use a forever loop, and then we are going to switch to our next costume. Let's run this. Whoa, it's moving very fast. In order to get it to not look like the Flash, what we're going to do is we're going to use our wait key. We are going to use our wait block, and we are going to have it wait 1 second. Now obviously this is a very slow step. So what we can do is we can change the wait time to 0.5. Now if I run this, it looks like the cat is walking around and following my mouse at a moderate pace. And then when I add the space key, this cat is definitely moving. Now what we're going to do is we are going to add a when sprite clicked. Obviously we don't want this code to go on forever. And since we said hello when we started, we said hello for 2 seconds, we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to go when sprite clicked. We are just going to end the program. So we can change what the sprite is going to say by double clicking here, deleting, and what we're going to do is we're just going to say goodbye to the program. What we're going to do in order to stop it is use this stop all block. Now let's see what this looks like. Says hello, follows our mouse around. We can add our space all around, and then when I click on it, everything stops. In order to get it to show saying bye, since obviously this code didn't show very well, what we're going to do is we are going to add a wait. So we're going to go wait 1 second. Now let's see what this looks like. It says hello. We can add our space bar for more movement, and when I click on it, it's just going to say bye, wait 1 second, and then stop all. This works because when we're waiting, we're saying bye. So notice that we didn't say bye for 2 seconds. We just say bye until the program ends. By using stop all, everything ends, which is why initially say bye didn't show up. The point is, say bye ends up showing until the code ends, which is why we need to wait 1 second to display show bye, and then end the program. And now what we have is a cat that moves around a lot and overall is pretty good for this move the cat program. That's the end of this video. I will see you guys next video for the next project. Thank you.